It's alive!
The Yeti. The Yeti Radio. Powered by DavidLeeImaging.com. Welcome to the Phoenix music scene on the YetiRadio.com.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to YetiRadio.com, live on Twitch and YouTube. We are live in the studio with the Sintrics. Welcome, everybody. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having us.
And let's see. Well, I will get turned around. Caught up in the moment.
I'm still reeling over the 98 KUPD voice, guys.
He actually lives in Wisconsin.
That was the voice of my childhood.
Right.
That guy's voice shaped about every band that I listened to growing up. So that was pretty cool.
Okay. Quick technical issue. Check.
Come on, can you hear us?
I lost my mic.
Now when I lose my mind, I'll just say, oh, I lost my mic.
Mic connection.
It works for me. I'm the singer.
As long as you can make yourself
Then everybody
laugh,
will
as
think
long as you
that
make
I'm
yourself
doing
laugh,
cool.
that's
They're
all
like,
that matters.
cool, Tom.
As long as you're having fun, then that's
Right.
all that matters, alright?
I lost a bass. I can say a lot.
This is crazy.
I used some
It's off.
kid. And it walks away from me.
Oh,
Are we live? Hello?
give the amp 1 second to warm up. This is what happens when it's live.
Stuff, yeah.
There we go. There we go.
Awesome.
All right. David Lee, the voice of KUPD.
Yeah.
He's in Wisconsin. He obviously does this for a living.
Mm-hmm.
And I was doing another show and with another station, and I wanted some liners.
Yeah.
So I'm like, so I searched and searched, couldn't find him. Finally, I finally found him. So I emailed him, like, hey, this is who I am. This is what we're doing. He's like, I recognize those call letters because it was a tribute station.
Uh-huh.
And he's like, call me. I want to know more about this. And he sends me his number. I'm like, okay.
Man, you could have a phone call with that guy. That rocks.
Right? So, and he asked me, he goes, how did you find me? I said, I Googled the voice of KUPD, and you popped up.
Yeah, man. I mean, like, if it wasn't for my dad's Dodge Ram 2500 and 98 KUPD being permanently on inside that thing, I probably wouldn't be here, because that's all we listened to together, and that got me listening to about every band that I still just listen to today. Same songs and all.
All right. So, with all my glitches and brain farts tonight, we'll start somewhere and introduce yourselves individually. And
Oh, going down the line.
My name is Davis Wright.
Don't confuse us.
What do you mean? I'm not stealing anybody's identity at all.
You can either take nothing more or the name.
I can't have both? Damn.
You're stealing my whole personality here.
My name is Chris. I wish I was Davis because of his height. We'll go on. Who are you, ma'am?
Should I say I'm London? No. Hello, everyone. I'm Avi Marcello. I'm the lead singer of the Sintrics.
My name's London. I have the best hair, and I'm the bass player.
My name's Davis. I'm the tallest.
My name's Taz Joplin. I'm the other singer that also plays guitar.
Ah. Okay. Well, here's a question that I have to ask for namesake purposes. Have you been asked yet, either one of you?
But what do you mean? I don't follow.
London Holly, Taz Joplin.
I have been asked if I'm related to Buddy Holly. Unfortunately, the spelling is more like the carburetor, so it is not, in fact, a stage name.
Yeah, it's
Unfortunately.
Not, yeah.
But Taz has a more interesting story.
Yeah. Joplin's got that one.
Yeah, I've been asked this question ever since I was in like elementary or middle school because I used to play ice hockey. So it had my last name on the back. I used to go to Coyotes games, and there's this one guy who pointed out, he's like, "Oh, like Janice," and I'm like, "Yeah, it's my cousin." Because my dad always told me growing up that I'm related to her. His dad was direct cousins with her.
Okay.
And I remember at that Coyotes game, that guy looked at me, he's like, "No, she's not," and I'm just like, yeah, she is. And he just wouldn't believe me, wouldn't take it at all. But yeah, no, I always tell people that. It always puts an interesting look on their face. It's nice to make people smile that way. It's just it's a cool thing to know. I think it's something that yeah, I mean, it makes sense when I was learning like music stuff. Like, I don't know, a lot of my friends, we started at the same time, and it just felt like I was like accelerating at the beginning parts of it. And people were always like, "Oh, it's in your genes, it's in your genes." And I'm like, I don't know, as you get older, a part of you actually kind of thinks there's some credibility to that.
Yeah. I was like, "Oh, it's in your genes, it's in your genes." God knows it spread her legacy, because he's like, "Yeah, I'm related to Janis Joplin." I was like, "Oh, cool. Who?" Just like Googling off the side. Like, "Oh, no shit, that's cool." Like looking at like the Spotify plays, I'm like, "Oh, jeez, wow, that's cool."
Well, no, the names, I'm setting everything up and going through my routine for interviews, and I'm like, yeah, well, this could
Taz
help.
is the cool one.
I don't know. I actually am related to the Wright brothers, so we could argue that. I know that's what the next question was on the music podcast.
Didn't they die in a tragic plane crash?
I plead
Yes.
the fifth. Yeah, right. Why do you think they reject me? They look at my name, they're like,
Help
no.
me.
Red flag.
So tell us about the band. What does the name mean?
Yeah, well,
Because
we are.
we like to joke around and say that the Sintrics are eccentric.
You know what? It's actually no. You're absolutely right. It's when we were first coining the name. I know. So Chris and I have been in the band since the very start, and he's the one who founded the band, and we were kind of going through. And this was all when the very first time when the very first gig that we actually ever did right out the gate was we did the Alice Cooper's "Proof Is in the Pudding," and so we're like, man, we got to come up with a name, like, and then. It was like, all right, we want something that describes us. We were going to be called Hollywood Bitch at one point.
Okay.
And then we were like, oh, no, that's not pudding proof. And then we were like, all right, no, let's be for real. And we were thinking that we wanted to be, it was like, all right, what describes what we're doing? And eccentric is what we came down to. So, of course, because we're doing rock and roll, we had to add the SIN in front of that. And,
of course,
the rest was right. The rest was history. Then we were the Sintrics. Might have fought over the spelling a little bit. That was our first argument. You would think it would be the music, but oh, no.
No.
And then after that, we were cool. But
the name's always important.
the good old X, yeah. No, yeah, right. It was just for the, Yeah.
Okay, so you two started it off, and how did you pick up everybody else? How did y'all meet? And
Yeah. No. Grateful for everybody here. Honestly, I think we make a pretty kick-ass team. But since Chris was really the one that founded this whole thing. Let me just pass this mic.
Oh wow! Beautiful.
You can pull. It's a lot longer. It's just closed up.
I can hear the sound of my own voice for once. Hell yeah! Yeah. So it started off right around 2019. I was looking for a singer to put together a band, and I came across Destiny on a website called.
Whoa.
Oh, who? I mean, Ave Marcelo. Oh, wow. Gosh, who's this? Of course not. I wouldn't want to do that. God, identity theft, it's a real problem. Nationwide crisis. 100%. I was looking for a singer, and she popped up, and I was like, hey, want to get together? And so we got together at Alice Cooper's Solid Rock Center because they had rehearsal rooms open, so we could go and jam, try out some songs. And then it clicked, because if it didn't click, we wouldn't be here now. But after that, over the years, we had a couple different lineup changes, and during one of our little lineups, London had come out to a show and seen the band, and so for some reason she was like, hey, I like this band. So
Don't know what I was thinking, Riley.
no clue why you would. I didn't even
Make this worse.
I don't even have the hat at that point, so I don't see what the appeal was. Point is, years later, we were doing the proofs in the pudding for 2021,
Right.
and I was looking for a bass player. I didn't have one at the time, so I was called London. I'm like, hey, I heard you play guitar. Do you know of a bass player? She's like, no. I was like, can you play bass? And she's like, sure. So that worked out. So she came and played bass for us for the shows, and then from there it was kind of set in stone. And Davis, funny enough, total fucking coincidence, because there's a music store in Surprise called Musical Surprise, and we were looking for a drummer at the time, and I happened to go in there, and he was running the counter, and I was like, hey man, how you doing, this, that, and the other. We hadn't recognized each other, but we'd met like a year prior from like when at the Club Red days, when that place was still open. It was a venue over in Mesa,
Right.
and our separate bands at the time, had like played together on a show or two. But while we're meeting in this little shop, we didn't recognize each other. So as I'm heading out, I mean, I'm going to pass to Davis here because this is his side of it.
We're just playing musical microphones.
Yeah, right. So no, we hadn't interacted with each other. Excuse me, at this show, but we had played. I think my singer and Miss Ave there spoke, which I apologize for. But no, we none of us really spoke or hung out or interacted that much. So I was like, I know this guy, but I don't really know how. And it was like, as he was walking out, I was like, oh, wait a minute, man, are you with the Sintrics? And he said, yeah. I was like, oh, I was in this band. We played this Club Red show together. And he's like, oh, cool. Hey, let me get your number. Maybe we'll hang out sometime. And he reached out about a month or two later and just asked me to audition. And so I was very honored, and I really wanted to see them, because when we watched them play, that's when I realized I was in a bad band, and there are people much better than us out there. So that's my little spiel for how we met. And then we got Taz next, right? Oh, yeah. There you go.
Well, going back in time a little bit here, I was not an original member of this band. I'd say the original members for sure, Miss Ave and Chris over there.
Lars and James.
Yeah. But it was about 2020, right? Yeah. It was definitely when COVID was fresh and it started hitting. I was NAU playing ice hockey and everything like that. That's why I was really there. Screw a computer engineering degree. And when COVID hit, my grades started going down. A lot of other stuff personally was going in my life. And it was around this time I had this musical kind of awakening. I'm like, I want to be a musician. I went in the studio at home, just messed around. It felt like 5 minutes, but it was from noon to 8 o'clock at night. And it was from that moment on I knew I wanted to be a musician. I'm like, yeah, this is what I want to do. This is my passion. And very shortly after that moment, Chris hits me up on band mix that I made when I was about 15 or 16. Got frustrated because I wasn't going to pay just to contact people. And somehow he got in contact with me, and how I knew this was special and rare was that this guy named off like 3 bands that like all my friends don't know, and he's like, yeah, these are my favorite bands. Turns out we were at a Slash concert before knowing each other, unbeknownstly, probably rubbing shoulders against each other. Who knew? And,
right, absolutely.
And yeah, we just bonded over that, and ever since then, I remember I had my Zoom tryout in my studio. Shout out to Zoom. Went out to Music Loft, shout out to them, and then had my audition there, and then the rest has been history. My first Sintrics show, I had to play bass because our bassist at the time quit the day before the show. So that's my history, and ever since being a part of the band, they just it's just been a family thing. It's ever since Davey and London came on, it just felt like all the pieces were there, and now we're ready to get to work. And I think that's been shown with some of the stuff we put out there, especially in our later shows.
It's the nicest thing you've ever said to us.
Absolutely.
There was that time you said the thing. Remember?
Yeah, the thing at that place and time.
For everyone out there, he's an all right guy.
Yeah, I guess I like them. I guess they're nice.
For sure. Can't you tell?
Okay, so let's see.
It's like, man, that was only the first question. I promise we could be rapid
No,
fire for you.
I have no. When I do it, I try to point in a direction and get as much covered in one as I can, and we've nailed a couple, so I'm making sure I don't re-ask any questions.
We're reading the comments right now. Hi, Hannah. I love you.
Who's this tool with my name?
She wears it better.
Ooh. Who are your biggest influences?
Go down the line again.
Yeah. I'd say the biggest ones, it started off with Slash, wanted me and Taz, share. The man in the top hat. You can't go wrong.
Right?
You can't go wrong. He's got the style. He's got the hair, the guitar. What else do you love? But other than that, it was a lot of Guns N' Roses stuff growing up, a lot of AC/DC. But then later on, sort of expanded into the more heavy metal stuff like Metallica, Avenged Sevenfold, and it's more of a recent thing. But again, I'm gonna give Davis all the credit in the world here. He turned me on to a band called Nothing More, and they fucking kick ass.
Right.
So I would say it kind of ranges
job.
from. Good job. Good job. Somebody finally said it. That's where it kind of is for me. And then going over to Ave.
Yeah, I mean, so everyone that knows me knows. I mean, I'm wearing it on my shirt right now. I'm a big Lady Gaga fan, huge Lady Gaga fan. But of course, before Gaga, I loved Pat Benatar. I've loved David Bowie, Freddie Mercury, and I'm a theater kid through and through. And so for me, it was always very much like eccentric performers, Alice Cooper, Ozzy Osbourne. I just loved people that could give a show, and I was like, I want to do that same thing. And I love powerful lyricists, songwriters, because they're out there saying something and making a difference. And but I mean, I'll pass this over to London before I think we could go all day about music. It's like, all right. Thank you for listening.
Well, if you couldn't tell from the rivets and leather, I'm a huge 80s girl. Biggest influence musically has to be Skid Row. They got me into music back in the days when cars still had cassette players. So I still have the Skid Row cassette that really turned me on to rock and roll. Since then, I know before we went live, we were talking about Doc and Rat. Just such brilliant songwriters and such a carefree era. Sunset Strip, just it's decadent, it's raunchy, it's so much fun. And in recent years, I've gotten really into the deeper cuts and just newer bands. I actually stole these pants from Steel Panther. Genuine, that's a real true story. But if it's got scream guitars, big riffs, bigger hair, I'm all for it.
Yeah, I mean, what we were kind of talking about right as we started, anything on 98 KUPD could be summed up as the pinnacle for me. Three biggest ones, Avenged Sevenfold. I can pinpoint the moment I knew I wanted to play drums. I had been playing music my whole life, but right when I saw, their original drummer, the Rev, just playing double bass, just screaming through, I was like, oh yeah, that's I need to figure out how to do that. And I still haven't, but we're getting there. Anything Chris Cornell has touched has just turned to gold. I'm a huge fan of him, and Nothing More. I'm very lucky enough to have their drummer as the man who he's taught me, in not English if you couldn't tell, but he taught me, and he gives me a lot of advice on kind of what to do. He's a very good guy. They're a very incredible band. So those are three of the biggest ones for me, hands down.
Awesome.
Yeah, I mean, throughout time, it really depends on what aspect of me as a musician I'm trying to grow, and when I think who I go to for influences. I like he said, Slash is someone I definitely had an obsession with for a very long time. Definitely a core person of my playing style now and how I play guitar. And then as that went down that rabbit hole, because Miles Kennedy was just an awesome singer. I love his singing. I love his voice, and that got me hooked on Alter Bridge. And then one of my buddies, Caleb, shout out to Caleb, he gave me the insight to try Mark Tremonti's solo stuff, and that got me more in the metal-y thrash kind of stuff, the faster stuff he does. And And then I went to see an Alter Bridge concert that got me into Seven Dust because Clint Lowery opened up for them. But you know, like some people I really like to try to be now in our shows, like David Gilmour. The ability, I love his singing and his playing both. His bends are the most just soulful bends I've heard. They just got so much emotion in them. And yeah, I'd say like Wolfgang Van Halen is definitely someone I definitely am influenced by a lot as well.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's crazy. Happy birthday, Wolfie.
I read you make your guitars.
I have not made anything I've used in this band, but I do build guitars, yes.
Okay.
You probably got that off our website.
Yes.
Yeah.
I wonder who designed
I
that.
tried.
Listen up. I know people.
I tried
Somebody
to do
had
a
to
little
do
bit of
it.
history.
Who put that in there? I wonder.
I had to write your bio because you wouldn't answer the texts.
No, I did. Maybe not.
What does it say? Drummer.
That would work. Other than the typical never give up, keep going, moving forward, what's the best advice you've been given?
Oh, I got one for that if no one else does.
So let's play Keep the Mic Away from Davis.
I must have bring it over here. No, go ahead.
I'm holding it. I'll start this one.
Let us not call the shots around here.
Well, I do, and that's where I'm going with this.
You certainly have the coolest pants.
Yes, you do. Steel Panther.
Authority.
And you're the manager of the band?
To an extent, I suppose. It's not an official title, but I have control issues, I guess. No, yeah.
We just saw. Swats the mic away from my hand.
That's just humanitarian services. But I do book a lot of the shows and such, and I've taken us out of state, which is where we'll be next month, which leads me into my advice being, take every single opportunity. Sure, there's the don't give up, and it's tied, but if you think it's too much, too far out of reach, too hard, do it. Because you never know, you only need one. I didn't know how to play bass when Chris asked. I said yes. 3 days later, first rehearsal, I BS my way through it. I'm still here.
Impressive.
Ballsy.
Yeah, I would say, as far as good advice goes, wear a hat. It's a very good start, because it doesn't matter how good you are. If you don't look the part, who's going to show up? If you don't have the style, if you don't have turquoise shoes, who's going to show up to the concerts? You know what I mean?
Right. Absolutely.
It's a rough time. What are you going to do? Show up in some Converse? Wait a minute. What are you wearing? Son of a bitch. Drummers. I can't. Gosh.
Fish
can't love
heads
them.
all the
Can't
way.
live without them. Wow. Yeah.
You got bands on, man.
Hey,
They're colorful bands.
Hey. Who's got the microphone, ma'am?
I see why you got that. That's true.
To actionable advice. If you're stubborn, you're not going to get what you want. Simple as that. Kind of piggybacking off what London said earlier. It's like, if you don't take an opportunity, you don't know where it's going to lead you to. So if you want to get anywhere, you got to take whatever the opportunity is, and that's just how we've gotten this far.
Awesome.
No, you know what? So as I had mentioned, we did the. I was like, listen up. You would think I'd know how to handle a mic by now, no?
Well, that's one of the things I've noticed, that the non-singing musicians, they don't know what to do with the mic.
That's
Singers only sing into the mic. They
That's
don't
true.
talk into it.
Absolutely.
I'm the only one that continuously talks into the mic.
It's a different ball game when you're talking into a
Yes.
mic. Let me tell you, that was the advice. No, I'm just kidding. But actually, we did the Alice Cooper's Proof is in the Pudding, and we got a chance to obviously meet him and talk to him, which was such an honor. And one of the things that he told me was, he's like, you go out there, you grab him by the throat. You give him a shot, like you give it all you got. You grab him by the throat and then you let go. And I was just like, yeah, you grab him. Not physically, obviously. But, it really did stick with me. And I since that moment, it has stuck with me. And sometimes I even physically, put my hand out there. But it's more of it's more of an energy thing. You know what I mean?
She has injured all of us on stage.
No, but in all reality, it's all about giving a show, and I do say that at every show, and we came to give y'all a show. So let's keep doing it. But it was really cool to hear from him, like, hey, how do you, I mean, it's Alice Cooper.
Right, absolutely.
I'm going to run with that. Yeah, but it was an honor. So I will never forget that.
Well, my biggest piece of advice to anyone listening or watching out there, if you're an artist, it doesn't matter what type of art. If you're a musician, you're an author, you're doing a show like the radio show or anything, don't stop writing, don't stop creating, because once you stop producing the original stuff, it's never going to go anywhere, because it always starts with you. You got to always keep writing, keep coming up with crazy stuff, even if it's you humming into a 10-second recording on a phone or anything like that. As long as you're continuously moving forward on that and not digging yourself a bigger hole with the existing ideas you have, and because that's when you get into the perfectionist mindset and you're like, oh, this isn't right here and this isn't right here, and then it never gets finished. You just keep writing stuff, because then that's been countless times where I've had an idea that I didn't bring to the room yet, thought it wasn't going to go anywhere, and then I'm like, I'm not confident in it, just bring it to the room because I'm bored, and Davey or Chris or someone hears it and they're just like, oh, that's really cool, and then a song gets created out of it. So as long as you're doing that and you're just continuously creating, nothing's going to stop you.
It's mine now.
Last but not least.
Protect the mic.
I would say at least the biggest for me is it's good to be uncomfortable. It's good to be hard on yourself. You're gonna suck, and that is gonna improve. That's gonna help you. I really think people who are comfortable are people who are complacent. Yeah. I mean, if you're comfortable, that means you've stopped any growth. I always think, bad experiences, however they're brought on, could be used as a learning experience. We were talking about our first shows earlier. If you look at my first show, I think it's recorded and on YouTube. Please don't find it. Look at how like stiff and nervous I am, and then
Please chat find that.
Yeah.
I want to see people chat.
Oh yeah, and I mean how I play now is quite the opposite. And this is for all aspects in life, let alone just music. If you should always be looking to improve yourself, and sometimes putting yourself in an uncomfortable situation and kind of going like, ooh, that didn't feel good. I went up on stage without practicing this or without remembering this, or some half-baked idea, and now I fell on my face and it sounds bad, and you're like, okay, I need to work back and hone this craft. Yeah, and anything that makes you feel uncomfortable, you should then kind of target that and be like, all right, why does it make me feel uncomfortable? Okay, let's work on this. Let's fix this. Now I'm comfortable in this area. Let's look for the next area. So that's the biggest thing that has at least helped me and kept me trying to progress, because I'm always very hard on myself, and I feel like I can be better. I can acknowledge that I'm good and I've progressed, but I should also always be trying to be better. So that's about my advice.
Absolutely. So let's go to Battle of the Bands. You guys walked into the room and everybody went, what?
Oh, thank you.
No, it was I missed the first one until I came in to the scene with Penny and Travis, and I was there for the finals, so I got to hear all the compliments from the critiques from the first time around, and everybody had expanded and like poured gas on a fire, and you guys just exceeded everybody's expectations for your growth from that first one to the finals.
Thank you.
Yeah.
No, well deserved, and even still getting a recording out of it, because of Tommy being one of the final judges, or one of the judges in the finals. It was just that spoke volumes coming from the judges. So they've turned the volume up on your bar. But everything I hear, you guys keep meeting it. So keep driving. So what was it like being in the battle, the first one?
Yeah, no, it was. You know what? I think it's always exciting getting up on stage, going somewhere new, challenging yourself, right? Because from and it was like the same way we think about. I'll tell you this: we've played park benches before. We've done houses. We've done and so you get up on stage, right? And you see all these people, and it's always an honor just to step up on stage, and we always are like, you know what, we came to give you a show, and I hope we delivered. And that's each time you learn something new. The energy is always different in the room. And you know what? There was a really cool crowd there. I felt like there was some cool energy, and we were feeling it. And yeah, absolutely, it was an honor to be there. So and for Tommy to give us the recording and stuff like that was awesome. And we have that. And just wait until y'all hear what we have coming up. Yeah, but I don't know who wants. Oh yeah, there we go. She's our mic stand holder.
I feel so special. This is the most responsibility a bass player's ever been given.
Right? Well, in order to get the drummer's perspective from the local music scene, I had to bring a drummer in and do just a drummer interview. I did Philip Hernandez, so that was really cool. Mm-hmm. I had to focus on something other than just a band. Well, not just a band. I take that back.
Yeah.
But instead of focusing on the band, I get an individual perspective, which was pretty amazing.
The chat is blowing up right now. I have fans, and I love all of them. That
it's
is so
two people.
cute.
Humble yourself, woman.
Of our 5 viewers. I'm sorry, Davis. Where are your comments?
There's my name.
Seriously,
okay.
Thank you so much for having us.
Just
too,
wait till
buddy.
my mom gets in the comments. I'll be
You know,
winning.
out there responding. We do
Your mom
appreciate you
prefers
guys.
me.
We definitely appreciate all the support. So
Definitely. So songwriting process. Where do we start? I know because you two were the first two, which is the vocalist and the guitarist.
Yeah. I just tend to look at whatever's hip on the charts and just try to bullshit copy that. What was it? Nicki Minaj? Is she still on there? Does she still do stuff?
we like Ritz.
Yeah, it'll tend to start out with like, if I got a riff or something, I'll bring it to the guys at rehearsal and ladies. Can't leave with the ladies. Very important. So I'll bring it over and we'll jam on it, see if it works, see if it doesn't. And then other times, Destin will have some lyrics, and then I'll be, fucking around on the guitar or whatever, and then she'll be like, "Hey, let's you play that while I a little sing." She does a little bit of a singy thing, and then that's throw in some bass, drums, another guitar, and bada boom, bada beam, you'll have a song.
Right?
Hey, couldn't say it any better, man.
I mean, hey, if you want to try, you're more than welcome to.
I don't know if I could follow that. You're a tough act to follow, Chris. I should just give up this front person thing, huh? It should be Chris. No, but he's right. I think commenting on that, I do write a lot of the lyrics and stuff, but you know what? Like Taz writes lyrics, and Taz has some stuff, and then Davis has started writing lyrics, and we've been writing parts, and I think every song is born in a different way. Sometimes Chris will bring out a riff and is like, hey, and like he said, then sometimes I have this song and this melody, and I'm singing it to myself, and then it's just like, all right, we're going to share stuff. And we've been thinking about, it's been a little while. This has been my dream my entire life. And so conceptualizing things and sitting there and being like, what is the story that we're trying to tell? And, being the Sintrics, we have Act 1 coming out because, of course, what would you expect from a theatrical band, right? And, so that should be on its way pretty soon. And there's going to be some really powerful themes, and as you guys will see later on. So, yeah. Anybody else want to kind of speak? Yeah, cool.
I just hit things. I don't know what I'm doing.
He's such a good job. He does a little bit of a bash and crash. It's a great thing.
All right. Well, you only have one song out.
There's more to come.
And there is more coming. Yes. We're going to take an intermission.
Yeah.
And excuse me, we will play Lady Dynamite by the Sintrics right here on the Yeti Radio.
Before you've even taken your clothes off, she's an eight, she's a spade, she's a queen. To rob you of your diamond, dynamite, 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 lady dynamite, dynamite. She won't need TNT to blow you out of your mind. She's a snake, she's a serpent. She'll take you to her temple, worship her body, and pray it away. So make you wanna say, dynamite, 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 lady dynamite, dynamite. She won't need TNT to blow you out of your Take it down, take it deep, take a breath, don't take the sweet, just like a pill. She needs a thrill, make it chill, and let you make it square. Dynamite, 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 lady dynamite, dynamite. She won't need TNT to blow you out of your dynamite, 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 lady dynamite, dynamite. She won't need TNT to blow you out of your mind. Your mind, your mind.
We are back in the studio with the Sintrics. That was Lady Dynamite, their first single off of their EP or LP?
It's an EP.
EP? Okay. So the first single off the new EP that's going to be coming out. Well, are you going to do all singles and then do the EP, or?
So our next one actually that we have coming out. I'm gonna take that. The next one that we have coming out, I was like, you know what? I was just making an executive decision. We tuned in. You beautiful people are here. Yeah, so the next one that we have going on is it's actually going to be called Help Me Now. So we'll have that one, and then we have one more coming out after that, and then the EP.
Okay.
Yeah, and then we just released the video for Lady Dynamite, so if you haven't seen it, go check it out. It's on YouTube right now. And thank you again for all the support and everything. We are here from Phoenix, Arizona, and we're very proud to be. And it's nice. We like we were saying, we're going out to LA and got a really cool show coming up out there. So
Yeah, I saw that.
yeah,
Some really cool stuff going on.
yeah.
It's
So-
the Rainbow Festival.
It is. It's yep,
Okay.
yeah.
Where's that actually at? I know
It
said-
is actually at the Rainbow on
Okay.
Sunset Strip, so it'll
Okay.
be a really cool block party sort of affair. It'll be really fun.
I'm sure that is going to be a blast.
Headlined by Jeff Tate, best known as the early singer of Queensryche.
Yes.
Faster Pussycat and Lizzie Borden are also on the bill. It'll be a good night.
It makes
Oh,
her see
awesome.
that I don't know any of these people.
I'm your ride home. Watch it.
I got fortunate. I had moved out of country.
Yeah.
And they had put stuff in storage. When I came back, we went to go get our stuff out of storage, and I got to go to Vamps and see Faster Pussycat.
Oh, wow.
30 years after the fact for me, and it was like, wow. It was a phenomenal show, so I can only imagine what that show is going to be like. It's
It'll
going
be
to
a
be
good
crazy.
We are very excited, and it's an honor to be playing over there at the 51st anniversary and stuff. It's so crazy. I'm like, I actually just watched Dio's documentary on Showtime, and I was like learning about how he like met his wife there, and then Black Sabbath, like that's how there was a meeting there between him and Black Sabbath, and so when and then Heaven and Hell was born. So I'm like, that's crazy. Like that's so cool. I'm like, man, we're about to be there. That's iconic. That's pretty cool. And yeah. Oh, Chris is back.
Hey.
The party's just getting started.
Well, you've also got another show coming up at the Marquee.
At the Marquee in June.
In June.
Opening for 80s Christian Glam Legends Striper, and it'll actually be on Ave's birthday. So come to the show so we can feed our families and celebrate her birthday.
That's my line.
But yeah, also just come to support, and I would love to see y'all there for my birthday. That's my one wish, is getting to hang out and to see everybody. It's an honor just to be up on the stage regardless. So but we'd really appreciate your support. We do have tickets and stuff, and just let us know. Come on by.
Yeah, hit them up on social media.
Yes,
We've got
please
tickets
do.
for you. So.
And we don't charge fees, so please buy them from us.
Feeless tickets from the Sintrics.
That's a subtle jab.
Oh man. So does the EP have a name yet?
Act 1, yes.
Act 1? Okay. You did say that.
Just teased it a little.
She talks a lot, it's okay.
Oh.
You know what?
Yeah.
You all love it.
No, we don't. We send you Grammarly links.
You let me front to band, and you still back it. So.
I was like, bro, he asked a yes or no question.
Oh my goodness.
Who
Because
else knows?
you guys asked me a question, and I had to pick one. Would that be for like interview purposes?
Yeah,
Or-
of course.
Music.
If you go on the record and say,
At this point in time. That always
yeah, just today. How are you feeling today?
Well, just for musical prowess, it's not even on the wall yet because they don't have enough frames. But probably Prince.
Oh, good
His
answer.
birthday's June 7th.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I used to work in Vegas, and he was playing at the House of Blues, and I got to escort him down the service, him and his manager down the service elevator to the limo so they could drive around the other side of the property and go into the back door of the House of Blues. And
That's in Mandalay, right?
yeah,
Brilliant venue.
yes, amazing place. But he's really, I wasn't the Yeti, or known as the Yeti then, but I wasn't any smaller. So you can imagine he's kind of looking out the corner of his eye, and I'm just like, I'm not going to say a word.
That is so cool.
Well, because it's funny dealing with VIPs. Sometimes people are okay with you talking to them. Sometimes people don't. They're in a focus, or they're those. I don't want to call them any bad names because they are who they are. But those that just don't want to talk to you. But fortunately, I've only met one or two of those in my career. So. Because it's been an interesting one, because I used to be a stagehand as well for a casino theater and got to work all the shows, so got to meet a lot of amazing people, and being in the back with everybody else is just so much fun. I envy the bands that get to go. I can't think of the name of it. Somebody was just played a gig, and they were backstage with I can't think of the name, but they were talking about being backstage with them and the headliner, and what kind of experience that was. So that's got to be amazing. And I'm sure in June you guys are gonna have a blast.
Very excited for it.
Marquis has always been very good to us, so we love playing there.
Okay. If you weren't doing music right now, what would you be doing?
I'm a man of many hobbies, all of which will probably end up killing me. I don't. That's hard to say because I'm trying to do it all. I'm going back to school for mechanical engineering. Probably fixing my truck. Honestly, that's what I'd be doing. That's all I ever do. Fixing my truck or working on my motorcycle. That's all I do. Yeah. No. Aside from music, my big thing has always just been working with my hands, building things, fixing things. Hence the mechanical engineering. So something along that, but I want to be doing that and music opposed to instead. But we'll see how far this gets. As far as I can take it, that's for sure. But
absolutely.
I'd say that just nothing too extreme. Living in a shack in the woods by myself, probably.
Worst place to live. Worst place to live.
Who's next?
Well, what pays the bills now is I work at a bank, well, credit union technically, but yeah, that'd probably be what I'd be doing just to maintain it. I do love working there, I'm not gonna lie, but I do recognize it's the day job, so I'm still looking forward to the day I can put in the 2-week notice and rely on music as the career.
Right.
But it's fun. Yeah, I'd probably just be working in finance if I wasn't doing music. Take care of the family.
Awesome.
Davis, I saw your mom was watching. I want to tell her I love her. Anyway, on with the question. So, I'm actually pursuing veterinary medicine outside of music, and that is what I'd be doing. I'm in wildlife rescue right now, and I definitely want to take that as far as I can go. I'm a softie, huge animal lover, so that is the plan, unless we happen to sell a platinum record, which, fingers crossed.
Well, this is such a depressing question. I'd say a speck in the wind, maybe a star in the sky, because, I'm destined, but...
I guess you get to blame your parents for that one.
I just had to. They're like, who do you go by, Destiny or Ave? Ave or Destiny? And it's like, you know what? I'd probably be in theater, honestly. Probably be in theater. I'd like to say I'd maybe be a stand-up comedian, but people don't think I'm funny. It's fine. During the day, I'm a woman of many things. Actually, so I was in property management for the past 5 years, and I'm now I used to be on the residential side. I'm now on the commercial side of things, so that's pretty rad. It's pretty cool.
Okay.
But yeah, I'd probably be an actress or pursuing acting or something in the arts because I just love art and performing.
Okay.
Make sure we make it for your sake.
It's not even for us saying it's for you. It's for her.
Oh, stop it. Oh, stop.
We gotta protect society from her. Jesus.
Jesus. Hey, I'm a man of many faiths. What can I say? Yeah. Oh, just you're well on your way to stand up, dude. You're well on your way. Oh yeah. If I wasn't doing this, I'd probably be trying to steal somebody who's famous, steal their life, like Elon Musk. Go space. Straight up. Hey, it's a lucrative gig if you don't get caught. You know what I'm saying? All you need is a little social security number, a little fake email address, bada boom, bada beam. I own Twitter. It's an easy path. It's 1, 2, 3, 4. Maybe there's a couple more steps. Point is,
I got some jewelry on my belt for you.
You got some jewelry? All right, right. I also got some land in Florida if you want to buy it too. It's a lucrative deal. Yeah. Yeah, if it wasn't for music though, I'm not quite sure what I'd be doing. Could be a lot of things. Could be nothing.
In trouble. In trouble.
Not a bad idea.
So, Act 1. So we have Lady Dynamite and the new single
And
coming
Help
out.
Me Now, which is coming out next month.
Okay.
The 14th.
Congratulations.
Where are you guys recording at?
Good question.
Yeah, so we've actually been working with a producer named John Herrera. He's with
Okay.
Clamsville Production. credible, and so that's who did Lady Dynamite, and We Have Helped Me Now, and all of those songs. Like that whole EP is going to be released and out for everybody to listen to, and I mean, it's honestly a lot of those songs were the songs that we started out with from the very beginning, and it's all been a journey, and I'm ready to get it out, and I'm ready for y'all to listen. And I think the rest of us are kind of on that same boat. And who knows? With Act 1, there's always possibly an Act 2. So not to get ahead of ourselves, but yeah.
Not to change the subject, but Chris, somebody says that if you weren't in music, you should be a hair model.
There you go.
Oh.
So are you telling me that I have the best hair out of the group?
That was not my comment. Trust me, sir.
Hey, I didn't have to say it. The people spoke.
Boxing gloves. We gotta go.
So we'll call him Fabio instead of Fabio.
That was good.
I'll get back to you on that one.
With today's technology in the music industry, that it's not like it was when I was growing up with all of that, where a million records was, the goal, because, that's, or a million sales. And so, what today, and you guys are younger, qualifies in your eyes, just in your eyes, a successful music career? What's a successful music career to you?
That's a really good question. Not being homeless. So precisely, not being homeless, having a roof and four walls over your head. So you get to there, and then it's smooth sailing from there.
Right.
That's about it. I would fancy a nice car, maybe a Porsche, maybe something purple. We'll get there.
Okay.
We'll get there.
We'll put some raindrops on it.
Precisely. Yeah, I'd say that's where it starts for me.
Okay.
And then go from there. Because if you get there, then it kind of just snowballs from there, as long as you don't get hit by a bus or something crazy.
Right.
Well, I just have to say those raindrops might be confused with the blood, sweat, and tears that got into the making of it. But no, you know what? I feel really honored to be doing what we're doing today, and having the opportunities that we're having, and in some way, I know the younger me would look at myself and be like, "You're rad, you're really cool," and to me, that's amazing, and it's one person listening to you, or just having that support, that means so much. So I take that for myself, and just continue to persevere past and know that it's going to be all trial and error, and I don't know if it's about paying attention to the numbers and all of that. I think it's about getting up each time, and even if you feel like you're being I'm scared. I have anxiety. I suffer from anxiety and depression, and sometimes I've had panic attacks on stage, and you know what? I think persevering and getting up and doing it every single time and conquering that feels successful, and continuing to write, and whether it's good or bad, it's I'll leave it at that.
Awesome.
For me, for those of you that have been to our shows, you know that there's a moment when we play one of our songs during which we ask everybody to hold up their phone flashlights or lighters, and that is always my favorite moment of every performance, and that has always been the ultimate dream. It's not selling a platinum record, which conversion now for one album sale is 1,500 streams. It's not attainable. But it's always been that, just seeing that sea of lights, knowing that you touched somebody with your music, because if it's beyond you, if it's beyond the people on stage, that's all you need. That is a legacy, no matter how big or small.
Okay.
Enough money to buy a Mercedes AMG GT Black Edition. I took hers.
Does that include living in it?
Yeah, listen, man. If I got it, that means I got it. No, in all seriousness, for me, I would say being able to be respected by my peers and other drummers and other musicians, because of course the respect and admiration of fans is an amazing thing. But for me, this is a craft that I really am passionate about and take seriously. And seeing some of these people that are drummers that are more successful than me, or I even looked up to, like the drummer for Nothing More, seeing them, kind of joining the ranks of them up in terms of popularity and even in terms of skill mainly. Seeing acceptance from that and being able to be on that level is about where I'd say I've achieved my success.
Okay, awesome.
Shut up! I'm all wrapped up in this cable. Please hold.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to work on getting some more microphones.
We love it. I think this is cool. I think this adds to the whole, like,
Sharing is caring, right? I'd say the most broad phrase that determines whether you're successful as an artist is that what every artist is looking for is validation of their work. And that just looks differently to a lot of different people. That could be an AMG, that could be a Porsche, that could be my respect of my peers,
Right.
So I think with our band, we've already technically made it per se,
Right.
in certain aspects of that. So for me now, yeah, well, that's all on him. I don't care about a Mercedes. I'm a simple guy like that.
Right.
To me, what's the next step for our success is that, that golden record goal is for us, I think, when everything we do as a band, no matter what it is, whether it's a song, a video, going on a show, anything, when that stuff is what's paying our bills and that kind of stuff, that's what's funding us just to live as humans, that's when I think we're successful. Because then you can really dig in and buy into what you're doing, have that passion. Because right now, it feels like you're kind of, there's only 24 hours in a day, and you only have so much time to fill each bucket of your life. So, yeah, I'd say that's the biggest thing I'm looking for. That's what is my success. Like, you made it.
Okay.
Is when you can pay the bills.
We're so commercial about it. I just want someone to like our music.
Right.
That's what I said.
That's the thing. People already like our music.
Right. Yes, definitely. Just more in volumes and maybe some tours and
Absolutely.
headlining and
So, yeah.
being it's funny because you were talking about the room. Hector walked in and he's like, dude, online this thing looks 4 times bigger than this. So, but yeah, definitely. Let's see. So, well, that's it for questions for me. You guys have anything else you want to add for everybody?
Does anybody in the chat want to ask a question?
Anybody in chat got a question?
But yes, our music video came out about 3 weeks ago, and we're very proud of it. There will be a sequel.
I said I'm closing chat.
Well, let's see.
Being asked to tour Florida. We'll be there this weekend.
No. There's alligators there. Hell no.
Pussy.
They're basically dinosaurs. Literal dinosaurs.
Right?
You don't have to pet the damn things.
I'd pet them.
Of course you would, and you get eaten.
Yeah.
I'm a bass player. I can be replaced.
London
Hey,
just
you said
opens
it,
its
I mean,
mouth
You
with their
better watch
bare
that mouth
hands.
then.
Someone commenting, they don't bite.
No, they kill. There's a difference. They chomp. They chomp.
Yeah,
I'm reading the chat.
They have a signature move called the death roll. I'll stick with rattlesnakes and Gila monsters, thank you very much, out here in the desert. They taste good. I haven't gotten to eat an alligator. I know that they have them at like the Angry Crab.
But they're a bit chewy.
Uh,
They're a bit chewy.
Gators fear Florida man. I'm not Florida man, so that's my issue.
Well, and I have the pythons, but you got plenty of those down in Florida too.
Yeah.
It's a mentality.
All right. Well, if you don't have anything else, and I have it drawn up,
Let's roll.
let me make sure that it's unmuted this time because, being live and it's a whole lot of fun sometimes because you forget to turn things on and sometimes my wife has a Sphinx and it comes in and walks across the board and hits a PFL and I'm like, why can't I hear anything?
How did you become the Yeti?
Yeah.
I want to know.
I can't show everybody because I don't.
It's the first time I felt short in my entire life. The over there was like, oh man.
Well,
He's a tall guy.
I myself have had my moments in life. The Lakers won the championship one year when I was about yay big. We were going to pick my grandmother up at Dulles International Airport. The Lakers were going to the Capitol for the presidential dinner, and we're walking down to go pick up my grandmother, and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar came walking, and I was like, Dad. So yeah, there've been a few people make me feel the way you guys do. So I always try to be respectful about that. This is the initial that started with the nickname. It's a picture of me picking up my daughter and my son-in-law at their wedding.
Oh,
Goodness gracious.
It's a beautiful picture. That's awesome.
That's an awesome
The
picture.
videographer is a German snowbird.
Yeah. Okay.
So he comes here from Germany every fall and stays through spring and then goes back to Germany. He's a brilliant videographer. He did an amazing job with their wedding. He missed it and asked me to do it again. So
not once, but twice.
3 times.
Whoa!
Gotta get the shot, man.
Right? So he finally got the shot, and he goes, do you mind if I take this back to Germany with me? He says, you have now set a new standard for fathers of the bride. And a friend of mine at work, I was on the honor guard team, and they saw the picture, and he started calling me the Yeti. Just big white guy, pick 2 people up, walk around with them, whatever. He's like, okay. So then my friend in Washington, we met, and he tried to get me into internet radio, and I'm no, for 3 months. So he finally talked me into it. I unmuted the mic. I watched the videos he sent me on how to learn how to become a radio person using California air checks, all the old school DJs that used to, be out there and just crazy with it. I'm not crazy with it. I'm just me, but learning and watching what they did was very, very much so. So that my wife, I'm like, I had a different screen name at the time, and it didn't have that radio roll like radio names do. And I asked my wife, I'm like, help me. She goes, why do I have to help you? I said, you're my wife. You're supposed to support me in this. She goes, use the fucking Yeti. And I'm like, see? You're a genius.
No, I get that. I ask my girlfriend a lot of times for support. Also, being successful. The moment that I can freaking pay for everything for my girlfriend and our household, because we buy a lot of shit, and then I'll be successful.
Okay.
Because I get that, but support, absolutely. I see why you were like, yeah, man, absolutely.
So the Yeti was then created, and then the Yeti Radio came because that was the one name I could get on all platforms.
Yeah.
So I am the Yeti Radio everywhere. I don't have to put a 1 or a 3 or a 7 or something behind it.
The real Yeti on Twitter.
And then this last Halloween was probably Halloween has been phenomenal for the past 5 years, but this last one probably spawned the best picture because it's very Game of Thrones-ish. It's my daughter and I, and it was at the Buckeye Halloween Carnival.
That's metal.
Oh, I love that. That's so cute.
And,
oh man. That's
so
awesome.
That's a top tier one.
I would go into the rest of the story, but then it would ruin the surprise for this Halloween because we lost to, well, we didn't lose. We came in second, and but we came into second to a group or a family that was Freddie, Jason, Pennywise, Leatherface,
Oh, wow.
Chucky, maybe.
Dedicated.
There was 4 or 5 or 6. They were all characters.
Yeah.
And they won scariest. And I have a Bluetooth speaker that sits here, and I have sound effects app. You can hear me 2 blocks away.
That's good.
They said I was scary. And so How come?
Yeah.
I'll tell you when we're done.
Okay.
Works for us.
I'm excited to hear this.
But,
Off the record.
Yes, but that's the Yeti, and it's stuck and been tried and true, and it's awesome. It's just a lot of fun, and everybody thanks me for my support. But if you didn't do what you do, I wouldn't get to do all this.
It's cool.
So
We're honored to be a part of
it
it.
goes both ways. So thank you guys.
Thank you as well, though.
Yeah.
Like, you're the one who put all this out. We just showed up, man.
Hey,
You
yeah.
know, like this is a really cool place, and if any of you ever get the opportunity to be on the Yeti Radio, it's an honor.
Well, thank you very much. And in closing, we are going to hit the Sintrics with the song we heard on intermission, but it will be the video right here on the Yeti Radio, live on Twitch and YouTube via Restream. It's the Yeti Radio, live on Twitch and YouTube, in the studio with the Sintrics. Thank you for joining us, and make sure you stay up on their social media and their website, and check out all the new singles coming out along with the EP. Thank you very much, and